Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Sufi Shidib bin Rosli. So today I would like to explain about the abstract regarding our case study, which is the inequality rate among workers in Malaysia. To start with, the official data shows a very sharp decline in domestic pay in recent years, as well as a marginal pay differences between men and women. But a closer examination reveals a different patterns and more complex representation regarding this research. This study will present how salary and inequality actually relate with the workers' performances and the current issue in Malaysia. This study also argues that the negative effect of inequality is the missing element in our case study, which many people actually overlook. Several recommendations and also a new methodology will also be discussed in this paper, as it follow a better view of Malaysia's initiative to reduce income inequality throughout research and a well-thought policy. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So let's move on into my next presentation, which is the introduction of our case study. So for my introduction, I would like to highlight it to you guys about the three main points in this chapter. Let's start with the personal and performance management. If employees' dissatisfaction will eventually lead to the high attrition and the high cost of a new recruits. When this process of personal and performance management is done effectively, this will help to retain employees, create the finest individual for the career development, and also enhance the processes inside the organizational itself. So what can I say is the personal and the performance management are eventually linked with each other. So let's move on into how salary and inequality relate with the performance. The workers' performance will relevantly influenced by the amount of the payment delivered. I think this issue is not a secret anymore, because people may be expecting a higher pay when they were tasked with something that required more time and skills for them to do that. So lastly, the issues in Malaysia. So regarding our main topic, which is the inequality wage among workers in Malaysia, the study done by the Khazanah Research Institute 2018, the income gap between the top 20% of the income earners with other incomes groups has doubled in just 2 decades. So the income gap between the T20 and B40 groups also increased from 11,760 in 2014 to the 13,240 in 2016. So it just shows increasing between 2,500 in just 2 years. So basically what can I say is this mainly shows how unfair the wages distribution throughout the years in our country, Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Daya Inara, and for the literature reviews, it is founded that according to the Household Income and Basic Amenities Survey Report, the official statistic shows that income inequality has increases gradually along the average of household incomes. Studies has been conducted, and it is founded that Malaysia is the country with the highest gap for the rich and the poor among the Southeast Asia countries. The issues of interest to be discussed is the implications of income inequality among Malaysian workers. It is also argued that some inequality does not necessarily means to equivalent to evil. Some degree of inequality may be acceptable as it leads to growth. Nonetheless, it does not change or lessen the facts that it damages the country as a whole. Thus, inequality is still considered as problematic, and in the light of this matter, there are many questions to be discussed and answered. For instance, what are the symptoms of income inequality? What are the implications that it has? And with that being said, To every problem, it comes with solution. Thus, it is vital to identify what are the efficient and effective strategies to reduce and eradicate income inequality in the society of Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fakri Idlami Ahmad and I will present on the methodology part. So what is mean by methodology? Methodology best can be explained as the outline of flow of the procedure in the collecting data. Besides, methodology also can be explained as the justification for why certain method is being chosen. Different from methodology, method can be defined as tool or instrument in a research or seminar paper. In this seminar paper, our group used qualitative research method. What is meant by qualitative research method? Qualitative research method is a research method that involves collecting and analyze non-numerical data in order to understand or interpret the concept, idea, or experience of certain topic study. The reason why we choose qualitative research method because our topic is relying on secondary data, and this secondary data can become a driving force for us to generate idea or insight for this topic. Besides that, we also can save time, energy, and cost by collecting information from secondary data, because we don't need to gather raw data anymore. In this seminar paper, our topic is the implication of inequality of income among Malaysia workers. So the second data that we use is article, journal, and case study. From these three secondary data, we gather information by taking out necessary information and analyze it and interpret according to the topic studied. So that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fakri Idlami Ahmad and I will present on the point unreasonable working hours. According to the Malaysian Employment Act, workers are entitled working hours about 8 hours in a day. But the reality is many workers in Malaysia are required to work more than 8 hours, which this situation has bring negative impact on the workers themselves. With the excessive workload and extra working hours without considerable payment or income, this situation will give them a stress, depression, and to make it worse, they also exposed to the risk of getting heart attack or stroke. So working extra hours with excessive workload without considerable payment or wage can be considered as employer oppression. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So we can also consider oppression in the workplace as indicator of income disparity. So generally, the word oppression is simply referring to economic, social, also psychological dominance and exploitation between individual, social groups, and classes within and outside societies, and internationally between the whole societies. So injustice or oppression is also implied as the act of discriminatory, dehumanizing, and also development inhibiting standards of living imposed by oppressors on controlled and exploited individuals, social groups, and also classes. We can consider the act of oppression that leads to the salary disparity, unemployment, poverty, and also lack of health care. So moreover, oppression appears to be driven by a desire of someone to exploit, particularly in terms of profit disproportionately from the resources, capacities, productivity of others, and this will usually result in victims living their lives in deplorable or in unfair situations. So it is some sort of tool um, for enforcing exploitation with the purpose of guaranteeing better living conditions for the perpetrators itself. So to to prove that income inequality based on the operation by the employers, where uh, it is highlighted that perceived job security as one of the main reasons that influence uh, unreasonable hours of work of employees. So in Malaysia, the MTUC president received a complaint from employers who claim that their bosses or supervisors threaten to fire them if they refuse to work on their days off. It means that they have to overwork, or they have to work overtime. And also a survey conducted by a vacation deprivation survey, about 40% of Malaysian workers were reluctant to go on vacation, fearing their bosses might be upset.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Daya Inara, and in this part, I will present on one of the implications for the symptoms of income inequality, which is the employee turnover. So, employee turnover is when an employee leaves the organizations. It can be categorized into two, which are involuntary turnover and voluntary turnovers. So, in the context of this seminar paper, it concerns more on voluntary employee turnovers. This is because voluntary turnover refers to an individual decisions made by the employee to terminate their organization membership by resigning and leaving the companies. So, one of the major factors contributing to this issue is job dissatisfactions. When we talk about income, usually we only understood its monetary value, how much we earn, the money, right? However, we have to understand that it goes beyond it. For an employee, their income usually define their abilities and individual value within the employees. So, this is why the income is such an important matter to the employees, because it provides security to them. Fair and effective salary structures motivate the employees to work for greater productivity, which subsequently leads to achieving the organization goals. Employees that are satisfied with their salaries are more likely to be supportive in the efforts of achieving organization goals. Other than that, due to employee turnover, the organizations have to bear both financial and non-financial disadvantages. Employee turnover is a key barrier to productivity, quality, and profitability of any organizations. Among the tangible negative consequences, or the financial consequences, it includes high expenditure due to the need to conduct recruitment, selections, training, and production process in order to cover up the human capital that they have lost. Other than that, the tangible cost due to employee turnover concerns on matters such as the moral impact it has on other employees or the performance disruptions that it causes.
These symptoms might, yes, be the main factor that leads to income inequality among Malaysian workers. So we have identified gender inequality, which means that um, in this modern time, though there is still a surge in both women's and men's participation in the workforce, therefore they are still experiencing a wide gap in income distribution. So gender inequality can be understood as allowing people with different opportunities due to perceived differences based on issues that we call gender. So gender inequality and gender discrimination leads to income distribution where they are interrelated with each other, where both are generally discussed as pertaining to women, like especially pertaining to women. So we cannot simply point out that women only face gender inequality, since anyone, regardless of sex, may experience it. So gender inequality is mainly causing in a situation that gender determine different rights and dignity for women and men, which are reflected their unequal access or enjoyment of rights as well as receiving the assumptions or stereotypes and also cultural roles. So sex such as segregation, differences in authority, and inequities in promotion and pay can be detected as the type of gender inequality. So, to begin with, income inequality is influenced by gender inequality in several different ways. So, salary disparities between men and women directly contribute to a bigger income imbalance. So, for example, as reported in the Malay Mail, it is highlighted that men generally earn more compared to women. The data recorded by the Department of Statistics Malaysia in October 2019 regarding the salaries and wages survey report Malaysia indicated that men obtaining a median month salary of 2,342 while women at the rate of 2,077. So another study that is related to income inequality among Malaysian workers based on gender inequality, where wage disparities are prevalent in the Malaysian labour market, which females only receiving roughly 73 to 76% of male wages. Hence, male workers tend to earn bigger or greater wage than their female counterparts. So, although male and female may have similar backgrounds, experience, education, or skills, income disparities may still exist due to discrimination of the employees itself. Like they may portray female employees uh, with a less productive, less creativity, and also less potential for the leadership skills. Thank you so much, and that's all from me.
One of the causes for gender inequality is stereotypes. Stereotypes is formed by a fixed and overly generalized belief that all members from certain segment of society have similar characteristics or behaviors. This builds a custom standards on how that individual is to be judged or to be treated. And it is undeniable that majority of times women are the victims of these stereotypes. This happens due to the fact that gender pay equity is not recognized in certain industries. One of the parties that encourage this issue to further grow is the employers. Employers who believe that gender stereotypes is often convinced that hiring women as an employee costs their company more than nominal wage. The employers with traditional perceptions deem women as homemakers and nurturers, assume that women are less likely to be productive as male employees. Male employees, on the other hand, they are viewed as the family breadwinners, the sole provider of the families. Thus, they often get more opportunities for career advancements. Thank you.
Income inequality has caused an impact on low productivity among workers, especially women, where gender-based wage discrimination occurs when female workers are given lower wages compared to the wages given to the male workers, while both genders do the same job with the same level of education with the same work experience. So according to neoclassical theory, workers' wages are determined by the productivity of their suits, and women are considered to have lower productivity than men because they are more focused on certain jobs and have lower human capital. So another theory that supports gender wage differences is the dual labor market theory. According to this theory, the labor market can be divided into two categories, namely the primary labor market and secondary labor market. So the primary labor market is more organized and systematic, but the tendency of women is in the secondary labor market category because they have low skills. In addition, low productivity contributes to the downsizing, which most often means layoff of the workers. And then moral and motivational problems between employees occur when there is a conflict between the employer and employees. So income inequality is one of the factors contributes to the existence of conflict in the workplace where employees feel they are treated inappropriately when male employees get more attention from the employer than female employees. So this problem also results in employees feeling undervalued, where they feel all efforts are not acknowledged or cherished, which will later cause them to face a lack of energy and commitment in the workplace. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Faradiana Petika Nizam, and today I will explain about the solutions or recommendations to solve this issue. So, Malaysia is a developing country with a relatively open upper middle income economy. However, Malaysians appear to be becoming more worried about income inequality. Based on a 2014 Pew Global study stated that 77% of Malaysians believe that the wealth disparity is a major issue. Thus, Malaysia must devise strategies to prevent this situation from recurring. There are few of solutions or recommendations that government can apply in order to solve this problem. The first solution or recommendation is by implementing policies or programs. Among the policies and programs that have been implemented by the Malaysian government is the minimum wage policy. On January 1st, 2013, the minimum wage policy was adopted and went into force. In 2013, Malaysia implemented a minimum wage regime that applied to all workers, excluding the domestic workers. Peninsular Malaysia is subject to one rate, whereas Sabah and Sarawak and the Federal Territory of Labuan are subject to a separate rate. Employees in Peninsular Malaysia will get a monthly minimum pay of RM900 from NWCC, whereas employees in Sabah and Sarawak and the Federal Territory of Labuan will receive a monthly minimum wage of RM800. On the 1st February 2020, the new salary increase took effect in 56 city and municipality councils around the country. Employers are now entitled for a monthly of RM1,200 up to RM100 from 2019. Additionally, the rate for employees receiving an hourly pay has been raised to RM5.77 from RM5.29. So basically, this strategy aims to address the problem of wealth distribution, inequalities and income inequality in Malaysia. The next solution or recommendation is by providing equal opportunities through education. Inequalities in income decreases as more employees have high skills levels. As an example, in Korea, where 43% of the workforce has a university degree or above, compared to 34% in Sweden and 32% in the United States, 25% in Malaysia and 17% in Brazil. This is one of the reasons why Korea's market income inequality is among the lowest in the world. So, in order to ensure that Malaysia can also solve the problem of income inequality, firstly, government needs to make sure that all Malaysians must be prepared with the skills necessary to earn high pay in the job market. In Malaysia, education has long been regarded as a means of creating national unity, alleviating poverty, and reorganizing society. Aside from that, the importance of education in generating trained and semi-skilled personnel has been emphasized in educational development strategies. The government's dedication to expanding national education may be seen in the amount of money it spends on it. The majority of these inequalities, according to the study, are related to long-term variables such as parental education levels. To bridge the educational and financial gaps, beneficial and long-term investments in high-quality basic education, like beginning at the preschool for all Malaysian children, are required. So that's all from me. Thank you.
To conclude this finding, income disparities are closely related to two main symptoms, namely unreasonable working hours and gender inequality among Malaysian workers today. So this can be identified based on previous studies by researchers who stated that female workers receive only 73 to 76% of the salary of male workers. So due to this issue, various effects can be seen among women when their skills and effort are not recognized and appreciated by their employer. Hence, a country with a moderate and low income, such as Malaysia, necessary considering increase the minimum wage control policies and overcoming income gap in as it can affect the economic development growth and economic stability of a country. I think that's all from us. Thank you.